Welcome to Educas Media Studies A-Level, Component 2, Section B, Mainstream and Alternative Media Stroke Magazines. This is Part 11, and the focus for today is on woman's realm and representation. And of course, Woman's Realm is the example of media or mainstream media, and it is a historical magazine published in February 1965. We've got to keep thinking about that, and published by a conglomerate called IPC. And of course, if it's mainstream media, it tends to do certain things, such as reinforcing stereotypes and dominant representations. It's driven by logic and profit and power, therefore will use conventions in a generic, regular sort of way, not trying to change things, not trying to be creative, not trying to offer any particular views. They're trying to resell what has sold before. And just a reminder, in the 1950s, obviously the previous decade, that women were represented in a very sort of domestic role, so in charge of the house in terms of looking after it, making it look clean, tidy, looking after children. That was very much the role of women at this particular time, and that was sort of different in the 1940s, where women had been seen more in the workplace. So they've gone back to this, things that were going on, the baby boom, consumerism boom as well. But what you didn't see a lot of was the objectification or sexualization of women in terms of representations in the 1950s. The 1960s, however, were a time of significant social change with regards to women and sort of gender politics. Now we have things like the sexual revolution, women's liberation movement, the introduction of the birth control pill, the swinging 60s, more women being highly educated at university, more women becoming financially independent and undertaking managerial jobs and jobs that perhaps had previously been done by men. And for this time, when we look at representations, what I want you to think about is this question: to what extent does woman's realm recognise or ignore social change in the 1960s? And of course, the front cover here, we've looked at this before, it's quite sort of conservative, it's quite sort of safe. She's the woman sort of shy, blending into the background with the clothing on. Isn't really there to be noticed. She's certainly not objectified, and we can see from the cover lines that the stuff about looking after children and looking after the home are still sort of prominent. And a lot of the magazines like this, but I want you to think it through, because although most of the articles in the magazine are like this, not all of them are like this. There is some indicator of social change. So with that question in mind, does Woman's Realm ignore or recognise social change in the 1960s? I want you to re-look at your material again. Watch the Mrs. Fisher video first of all and just think about these things, and then there'll be a worksheet that I'll send to you on forms, and I just want you to answer some questions on whether you think those social changes have been recognised or not. Thank you.